So here I have with me the Damask Wedding Program booklet, and it will print out into on an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper like this. And the next step is to go ahead and score the program. And there's these little dotted lines here, those are your score lines, and I'm taking an X-Acto knife with the blade side up, and I'm just dragging. And again, I'm not cutting here, I'm just trying to make a little indentation on the paper so I get a nice crisp fold. And the next step is we're going to go ahead and trim this out using our paper cutter. And paper cutter up here. And to start cutting this, it doesn't really matter which end you cut on. I'm going to cut along the top first. And I'm just following along those trim marks that were on the template. I'm going to cut here. There. And when I'm doing this, I also kind of keep mindful that I'm keeping it 7 inches square. So there's my 7-inch mark and my dotted line here. Sometimes it's easier to use the ruler up here, and then since it's 5 by 7 it would be 10 inches there. So now you have the booklet, and because we scored it, it folds super easy. Now I think the ceremony booklet looks best with a little ribbon bow on the spine. And to do that, I'm going to use a hand hole punch. And this is a small hole punch, and I found this in my craft store on the scrapbooking aisle, and it's smaller than a normal, say, hole punch that you would use for a 3-ring binder. I believe it's an 1/8 inch, but don't quote me on that. And I think it looks a little better than using a big hole punch. And I'm just going to come in along my fold here. I'm going to punch a hole right along the crease. I'm going to come in on the other side, punch a hole like so, so it should look like this. And then here I have this sage green 3/8 inch single phase satin ribbon. And there's actually a link at the bottom of the post here with where to buy this ribbon, and I'm simply just going to feed it through here and then come back in and feed it through on this side like so. So yeah, you see I didn't print the back side of the program because this is just a example one, but you would print the second side with all your ceremony information in there. I'm just going to try to even up the little tails here. And to make the bow, I'm going to go through this twice because this is the part I get a lot of questions on. So the first thing you do is you make an X, like so. And then I take this tail and I tuck it under so that you get kind of this, I call it a cross, like that. And I pull it pretty snug, but careful not to rip your holes. And then I put a finger on it, and then I make a bunny ear. And then I pinch, and then I come through over here, and I pull it through. And then I give it a good little snug, even out my loops, and then trim. I'm going to do that bow one more time. So I'm going to start with my tails like this, cross them over, like so, and then I bring this one under, pull it snug, and then I just put my finger on. Okay, and with this one I make a loop over my thumb, and now that's going to hold the cross. And I'm going to come over, around, and through, and then pull it snug like that. And then to trim the ends, I kind of just go a little bit past the loop to trim. I think that looks best, but you can trim your ends however you like. So, and there you have it. Beautiful ceremony booklet. It measures 5 by 7, and you get one booklet per 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. So here I have open the Microsoft Word wedding program template, and this template makes a booklet. It's a 5 by 7 inches when it's folded, and what's open on the screen here is the cover. So there's two sides. There's on one sheet of paper you're going to print the cover, then you're going to flip it over and you're going to print the inside. And if you see on here, first one question I get a lot of is how come the artwork looks so faded? And the reason that is because the artwork here with this pattern is actually on a lower layer in Word. And so to make it easy for you to edit these text boxes and not be altering the graphics in any way while you're doing that, I've set that on a separate layer, and the text layer is actually on top. So that's why you'll see this green so much more vivid than the peach. But when you print it out, you'll notice that it's the same colors that are in the photographs of the design. So just wanted to clear that up. So just like the other Word templates, each section has its own text box, and you can just click in here and type in your information. So you could be Laura and Kevin, and you can just click in here and change the date. 2011. Now, one thing that's optional here is this is the back cover. So here's our little fold lines. You can see where it's going to be folded. And so on the back here I have this scallop box. It gives you a little more room for text because it's only a 4-page booklet. If you wanted to do a thank you message, or some people like to do directions to the reception here, and you can click in here and type and edit all your information. But let's say you didn't want this text box back here. You can actually remove this by selecting the artwork and hitting delete and deleting this. So that's actually an optional area. Some people have a little bit of wording and some people have a lot of wording, so I made that editable and for you to choose how you want to do that. So now I'm going to go into the inside. So I'm going to go and open up the inside template, and this is what it looks like. And again, you'll see our fold lines and our cut lines, and you'll print the cover, flip it over, and then print this side. And again, it's editable text boxes. You can change the colors here by going to the Home tab, clicking here. You can pick peach, let's say, or if you notice on the text box there's more colors, and this brings up a color wheel, and you can pick any color of the rainbow, and if you want to make it darker, and once you get it the way you like it, you click OK, and it will store that color in your little text color here, so you don't have to go pick it again. So now I can highlight all of this and just click there, and it turns it all that new color. And you can change the size of this. So let's say you wanted to make the fonts bigger, you would just simply highlight, go to the Home tab, click the font size you wanted. And you can also change the fonts just like you would in any Microsoft Word document. Highlight the text, pick your font, and you're set. So I hope you found this tutorial helpful. This is the Microsoft Word version. And if you have any questions, just fill out the contact form on downloadandprint.com. Enjoy!